Open literally any news app today, and you're going to see the exact same terrifying headline. It's always some variation of artificial intelligence is taking everyone's job. But I'm going to give you the harsh truth right off the bat here. Those headlines, they're lying to you. In this explainer, we're going to look at the actual hard data. Because right now, a lot of executives are using AI as a really convenient smokescreen to cover their tracks for massive financial mistakes. So let's dive into this together and completely separate the flashy marketing hype from what this technology actually does.
55,000. Just think about that number for a second. In 2025 alone, companies cited AI in nearly 55,000 layoff announcements. If you were just skimming the press releases, you'd absolutely believe the sci-fi robots had already taken over the office. We're told day in and day out that this new technology is so incredibly advanced, so brilliant, that human workers are basically obsolete overnight.
Which brings us to the most important question you really need to ask yourself today. Are robots actually sitting at a desk right now doing the work of 55,000 people? Or is this just a clever Wall Street trick? A way to inflate stock prices and hide the fact that these companies went on massive, reckless hiring sprees a few years ago when money was cheap, and now they just need a good excuse to cut costs.
Okay, let's get into part one, what AI actually is. To kill that sci-fi robot myth once and for all, we need to strip away all the marketing jargon and understand exactly what this technology is at its core. And don't worry, you need zero technical background for this. AI is essentially just a giant pattern guesser. That's it. It's not a thinking machine with a brain. It doesn't actually understand a single word you're typing to it, and it definitely doesn't have a soul or consciousness. It has simply read billions of pages of internet text, and it uses heavy-duty math to predict patterns. It's just guessing what should come next based on what it's seen before, completely lacking any actual comprehension of what it's saying. The easiest way to picture this, think about when you're texting a friend on your phone and you keep hitting that middle autocomplete button to just let the phone finish your sentence for you. That is exactly what today's AI is doing. It reads your prompt, it guesses the most likely next word, and it just repeats that step over and over until it's finished. It's literally just a supercharged version of the autocomplete on your phone fed with massive amounts of data. So, the crucial takeaway here is how you should think about interacting with it. Treat AI exactly like a brand new, highly eager junior employee. Imagine hiring someone right out of school. I mean, they can type incredibly fast and they have access to a massive library of information, but they have absolutely zero intuition about your specific business. They need constant feedback, super clear direction, and really heavy supervision. If you just leave them totally alone to do a project, they're going to make a giant mess.
All right, moving on to part two, the hype versus the hard reality.
Because what CEOs confidently declare on their earnings calls and what their own actual employees say are two completely different things. Just listen to this comparison. The financial tech company Klarna publicly bragged that AI replaced hundreds of human customer service agents. Their CEO even went as far as saying AI can already do all jobs. Well, that's the hype. But the hard reality? Costs ended up rising right back up, the quality of their customer service completely tanked, their stock dropped by 67%, and they actually had to quietly start rehiring human beings for those exact same roles. And here's another pretty brutal reality check. Block CEO Jack Dorsey fired 4,000 people and explicitly claimed AI made them unnecessary. And guess what? As a result, the company's stock surged over 20%. Wall Street loved it. But when reporters actually went and talked to the remaining workers who were forced to use these tools, they exposed the truth. The employees openly stated that 95% of the AI's code still needs human fixes. It is basically unusable, nowhere near company standard on the first try.
Which brings us to a number that completely shatters this whole job apocalypse narrative. 2.5%. Researchers took the absolute top-performing AI agents and gave them real-world autonomous freelance projects to complete. We're not talking about just generating a chat response, but actually doing real complete work. Their success rate was a dismal 2.5%. Not 50%, not 25, 2.5%.
And this massive gap is even admitted by the very companies building the tech. A recent study by Anthropic shows that while AI theoretically touches 94% of jobs on paper, when they look at actual observed coverage out in the real world, it's only about 33%. The robots simply are not doing the heavy lifting yet, not even close. So here is the real kicker. 6 out of 10 hiring managers openly admit to a practice called AI washing. That means they're using AI as a highly convenient, trendy excuse to cover up their own financial mistakes,
budget cuts, and the simple fact that they just overhired a few years ago. They are firing people for strictly financial reasons, but they're blaming the shining new technology so they look innovative and cutting edge to Wall Street investors. As one user on Hacker News perfectly pointed out, AI speeds up maybe 10% of your work by 10x, because most of the job is coordination. And they hit the nail on the head. Real work in the real world is messy. It requires human coordination, stakeholder meetings, dealing with messy office politics, and finding alignment. AI simply cannot sit in a meeting, read the room, and negotiate a complex compromise.
Section 3. What AI genuinely can do for you. Now, I definitely want to be completely fair and balanced here, because while executives might be lying about it replacing entire departments, as an individual user, you can absolutely use this tool to gain a massive advantage. If you actually know its limits, AI is an unbelievable assistant. It is absolutely fantastic at drafting basic, repetitive emails. It can seamlessly hook into tools like Canva to help you quickly format social media posts. It is brilliant at taking a massive, messy, hour-long transcript and perfectly summarizing it for you in literally seconds. And it's an amazing partner for brainstorming initial ideas.
The absolute best way to think about it is this. AI destroys the blank page, but you have to write the final sentence. It is the ultimate brainstorming partner to get you started. It gets you from zero to a rough draft instantly, saving you hours of just agonizing, staring at a blinking cursor. But a real human being with actual intuition must always, always step in to finish the job.
Which leads right into Section 4, what AI can't do, at least not yet.
Setting honest expectations is crucial, because knowing what a tool cannot do is just as important as knowing what it can. Take the concept of a hallucination. This happens when the AI confidently guesses the wrong pattern and presents a total, outright lie as an absolute fact. For example, when someone asked an AI about a real software company called Flow Potato, the AI confidently hallucinated entirely fake revenue numbers for them. And the crazy part? It does this with a smile. It has literally no idea it's lying to you.
There are just a few hard-coded limitations you need to remember. AI cannot truly reason or think outside the box. It literally forgets your instructions if a task is too long. In fact, even the CTO of the tech giant Salesforce publicly admitted that their AI models start dropping directives if a task takes more than 8 steps. 8 steps! It requires constant human verification to ensure it isn't hallucinating, and, as we mentioned earlier, it completely fails at navigating complex stakeholder politics.
Finally, Section 5. Be a smart, skeptical user. It is time to empower yourself and just cut right through the marketing noise. Ignore those terrifying headlines and learn to use AI to build your own leverage. I want you to remember this quote. When a CEO says AI, the question isn't whether the technology works, it's who benefits from saying it does. Whenever you see a headline about massive layoffs due to AI, follow the money instead of the hype. The executives get the stock bump, but the technology is just being used as a convenient scapegoat. Which leaves me with a question for you. What's the biggest AI myth you've been told or maybe even believed until now? Drop your answers in the comments below. I'd love to read them. Be a smart, skeptical user. Absolutely be excited about these new tools, but never get fooled by the corporate hype. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and make sure to subscribe for more honest, no-nonsense deep dives into the reality of the tech world. Catch you in the next one.